Gonna try, gonna try, gonna try. Work till I die, till I die, till I die. I'm gonna fail and get up, cause I'm not giving up on my dream.
Hi my lovely Frosty Fam, it's me, Karen Frost, here at Nail Decadence, and in this video I'm going to be showing you some of these Modelones gel polishes. The link is in the cards on how I make my own custom acrylic powders, you know, the colours of acrylic powders, and also there's a link in the cards to my haul / unboxing video of those beautiful lipstick collections from Modelones. So we are showcasing the Modelones really in this video, and this is what I did. Yeah, this is the set. So first thing I need to do is sort out my acrylic. So I have applied my did all my nail prep, you know, push back the cuticles, remove the natural shine, etc. Applied my tips, dehydrated and all of that good stuff. Applied my thin clear base as well, and now I'm going to sort out the structure of the nail using the pink that I mixed up. It's just a sort of translucent pink that I added some shimmer to, you know, kind of thing. Yeah, it's really easy to mix yourself. Definitely really easy to mix yourself. You just need some mica powders. You could even just mix in some coloured acrylic powders into the clear and get something very similar. Just make sure that the brand is the same. I don't recommend mixing different brands into one pot. They all have a sort of recipe, as it were, so just bear that in mind. Anyway, so I'm going to apply the nails. So at this point I will be building my structure because this is for strength. Normally you'll hear me say, oh, I'm just applying this for colour only, not strength. No, the whole nail is going to be built in this very translucenty pink, so I'm not going to be capping these at all. It's all going to be built with this pink. So this is many beads to build up the nail. Now this is a very long set, so I want to make sure that the nails are going to be strong enough to withstand the bashing that I give them. But do bear in mind that we'll be gel polishing over the top, so you don't want to make them too thick, because by the time you've added all the layers of gel polish and top coat, etc., it will make the nails slightly thicker. So therefore don't make your nails too high and too wide, because then they will look bulked out by the time you've added your gel polish, if that makes sense. Just make it slightly thinner than you want your finished product to be, bearing in mind the layers of gel polish that you'll be applying. So as you saw, I added the first bead in the middle of the nail, brought that down the nail, and then I'm going to add another one and also bring that down the nail. You'll see that my tips are angled up slightly, and that's because I have hooked nails, so therefore the middle of the nail has to have quite a bit more acrylic than you would normally put there, and that's to fill in that gap. So it's like a secret apex for me. I have to do it this way, otherwise my nails slope down and I don't like the way that looks. So if I want them to be straight out and not to look too hooked by the end of 2 to 3 weeks of wear, this is how I counter that. I can do a tutorial on it, but I'm thinking maybe I will do that as a, you know, online lesson type of thing. So we'll see how it goes. I've got some things in the works with my education certification and stuff, so we'll see. Hopefully at some point I'll be able to offer some, I don't know, Patreon or online classes or something, you know, for those who want to learn a bit more in depth than what I show in my videos, because obviously I can only show you so much in my videos. So I can, you know, I'm hoping to make some more in-depth ones to give different angles and just, yeah, a bit more explanation and stuff. I mean, I do give you quite a bit in my videos, but for those who really want more, then yeah, I'm hoping to be able to offer that at some point. But for now, this is what I'm doing. I tell you as much as I can and show you as much as I can without having 2 cameras on the go, because that's a lot of work, and then to try and edit that into one video, it's a lot. So I don't think I would upload that to my YouTube channel just like that, because that is a lot of work. Just doing these videos as they are is a lot of work, getting the camera to focus, and then obviously filming the design, but then the editing that goes into it, and then the voiceover. It does take a lot of my time. So yeah, more in-depth ones will be something that I can offer later on as, you know, online courses, as it were. Anyway, so I'm going to continue building up the nails, and you'll see I'm using quite a big brush. And I decided to try the Nails new monomer, and I'm not, I've got to say, you know, I'll always keep it real, I'm not that keen on this monomer. I'm not, the way the product, I mean, it's hemmer free, which was why I wanted to try it, but the way the product behaves with this monomer is different to the way it behaves with their other monomers, and I wasn't a fan of how it was working. So I can't say I would buy that monomer again, to be honest. I did buy a couple of bottles of it, so I will be using it again. I'm not going to just waste that monomer, but compared to the max adhesion medium and high speed of their regular ones, I prefer those to this hemmer free version. It's just the way the acrylic feels when you're working with it using this monomer. It's just not a texture and consistency that I'm used to. So my nails are not as smooth or as neat as they normally would be. It was a warm day as well, which probably wasn't helping, but even if it was, you know, a warm day, which it was, it still behaved differently than it would, the other ones would on a warm day, if that makes sense. You can tell the difference, and I wasn't that keen on its workability, so that was a shame, because I was really excited to see that they had the hemmer free version, and I wanted to give it a go. But you know, you don't know until you try. I mean, I will, like I said, use what I've got again, because I'm not going to just waste monomer. So maybe after a few tries I might get a bit more used to it. This was the first time I'd ever tried it, so I think it's something that would take a bit of getting used to for me. When you're used to a product working a certain way, and then you use a different product and it works a different way, it's a bit of a learning curve to get used to it. So yeah, I think I'll have to try a few more times with this monomer before I can get the hang of it. But I mean, the nails worked out fine in the end after a bit of filing. But yeah, it wouldn't be my first choice of monomer to use, let's put it that way. And I won't be purchasing that one again. I'll stick to my normal high speed, medium and max adhesion, I think. I'm just comparing it to my other hand there. As you saw, I want to make sure that the nails that I've already done are a similar thickness to the ones that I'm currently creating. So as you can see, I'm using big beads because I am trying to build the nail, and this brush is huge. It's huge. I thought I'd give it a go. I quite like it. It's quite soft, but I'm used to working with quite flat pinched brushes, and this one was a bit more round. I mean, it is pinched, but it's not as pinched as my other brushes. So yeah, that was also something to get used to. But it holds a massive amount of liquid. You can pick up some huge beads, but like I said, it was a warm day, so I didn't want to pick up massive beads, especially with using the high speed. You know, obviously it's a fast setting monomer, so yeah, I didn't want to pick up beads that were too big. I could have picked up slightly bigger beads, but like I said, It's a monomer that I hadn't used before, and I was just sort of getting the hang of it. So yeah, I didn't want to pick up too much of a big bead, and then have it not lay the way I'd like it to lay. Like I said, it's not the best application in the world, because I hadn't quite gotten the hang of this monomer yet. Kept expecting it to work the way the others do, but yeah, it didn't. So they're not the neatest nails, but a bit of filing sort that out. Not that I recommend relying on filing to sort out issues, but yeah, it is an option for sure when things don't go according to plan. And listen, we are all human, and things don't always go according to plan, especially when you're trying something new. Roll with it, just go with it, and there's fixes. So yes, it's not the best application in the world, and it's not as neat as I would like it, but I know I can sort that out in filing, so I'm not that concerned. All I'm concerned about at this point is making sure that the nail has the strength and structure it needs to be a long-lasting nail that isn't too thick or too bulky, and will look good after I have gel polished. And that is all I'm worried about at this point. I'm like, okay, it's not quite working the way I want it to, but you know what, I'm going to carry on, get through it. It's not the end of the world. So yeah, we're all human. Don't worry about it, don't stress about it. It is only nails. So as you saw, added another bead to that thumb, and I'm working that bead down towards the free edge, patting and pressing gently. I don't want to move the entire bead down, I just sort of want to spread it but not remove too much of it, if that makes sense, because I'm trying to build the nail, so I don't want to be swiping it all off the end. So that's why I'm sort of patting and sort of teasing it down the nail rather than swiping. This bead, I'm swiping it down because I'm trying to get it to fill that gap where I was saying I've got that dip in the nail from where the tip is pointed upwards. That's why I'm brushing it down, but I'm only brushing down the front of the bead and then blending the back of the bead out. So I'm being strategic about where I want the product to lay. That where you pat and press or brush the product does determine where the product ends up. So you do need to pay attention to whether you're patting the back or the front or the middle of the bead. That determines where the acrylic is going to end up, and you don't want to use too much pressure because you will swipe it all off the nail, which is pointless, and that's not what you're after. You want the product to be on the nail, not on your kitchen roll. So yeah, it's getting a bit thick and gloopy towards the end. As you run out of monomers, the monomer dish gets lower and lower. The product can start getting thicker, and that's because of the the contamination of the liquid from the powder. So your monomer can start getting sort of thick, if that makes sense. It's no longer as liquidy as it was when you first started, and at that point you should just switch out your monomer. Obviously depending on how much you've got left to do. I didn't switch out my monomer because I didn't have that much left to do on the thumb before it got all kind of thick and gloopy-ish, so I just carried on and persevered. But if you're only halfway through your set and your monomer is getting a bit dirty from the powder and it's making it thick and your application is getting more difficult, then definitely switch out your monomer. It will make a huge amount of difference. I don't really hear people talking about that, and so I thought I'd mention it. It does happen, and yeah, that's just literally from contamination of your brush, where some of the powder does get into your liquid, and if your liquid starts getting a bit thick and gloopy, just switch it out. Always pour it onto your kitchen roll to get rid of it. Never pour it down a sink or a drain. Do not put it into the water system at all, ever. Just use kitchen roll to soak it up and then place that kitchen roll in the bin. That's the safest way to dispose of monomer. I'll give all the nails a quick once over, make sure they're all very similar before I put away my liquid and powder. That way I'm not dragging those products back out again. And now it's time for filing for my Frosty filing freaks. Here we go. So I will start with the sidewalls. Do make sure your nails are dried and hardened. You can test that by clicking your file, well, tapping your file onto the nail, and if you get a type of sound, then they are ready to be filed. If it's more of a dull thud, then they need to continue to polymerize just a little bit more until you get that clicking tapping sound. Then you can go ahead and start filing. On this occasion, I've decided to do my sidewalls first. So as you saw, I did one side of the nails first, all through the fingers, and then did the other side and worked my way back from thumb to little finger. That's the routine I decided to go with. I do recommend getting yourself a filing routine. It helps your nails have that continuity and uniformity so that they all look similar. It's definitely worth something to have. I have various different types of filing routines depending on how my fingers are feeling on that particular day, and so I have just different routines. However, I will only use one routine on one set, so I don't switch my routine halfway through filing the nails to a different routine, because I don't want the nails to look different. I want them to all look the same. So whatever routine you pick to start with, make sure that's the one you use all the way through that set. And then on the next set you can choose a different routine, but whilst you're doing that set that you've started with, do finish with that same routine. It makes a massive difference. And as you can see, I often stop and look what I'm doing. I don't just concentrate on the nail that I am working on. I look at that as well as the nails next to it, because I want the whole hand to look uniform and be similar in length, in shape, and in height and in width. And that's the best way for you to get it done, is to stop and eyeball it, compare all the nails together, but also don't forget you've got another hand and you can compare it to that as well. Now I haven't started filing my other hand yet, so you won't see me comparing it at this point, but when you start filing your other hand, oh look, see, I did compare it a little bit there, but when you start filing your other hand you will need to compare them, so do bear that in mind. You have two hands, and you know, if you want all 10 nails to look similar, then you need to compare both hands as well as each fingernail to the one previous and beside it, if that makes sense. So finished tidying, straightening up those sidewalls and the under arch. So now I'm going to use a diamond bit to go around the cuticle area. Try not to make your cuticle area too thick. I did overbulk them just a little bit on this set, but like I said, I was getting used to that monomer, so yeah, I have to sort this out in filing. You want to keep that cuticle area quite thin, and then for it to rise up into your apex in a nice slope to your highest point, and then slope down towards your free edge. Make sure that that cuticle area is nice and flush to the natural nail, so that when the nail grows out, it doesn't catch, there's no lip for it to get stuck in your hair or anything, and that it looks neat and tidy as it grows out. You don't want a step or a lip there, so make sure it's blended into the natural nail so it's totally flush to it, and that way you'll have longevity of wear and less likely for it to lift, because it's nice and sealed and in line with your natural nail. Then I'm going to do the body of the nail, so I'm going to use I think this was a fine, if I remember rightly, a fine carbide bit, and I'm just going to debulk and contour that nail. So where I filed the side walls, there is a sharp edge there, so I want to blend that sharp edge into the nail as a curve. I don't want to leave that sharp edge on the sides. because you want your nail to curve from one side wall up in an arch over to the other side wall. So you do want to blend that in. You also want to make sure that the nail is not too thick on the free edge, that it's not lumpy and bumpy, and that it's nice and smooth, and that your gel polish is going to look really good once you place it over the top. So do pay attention to that. You don't want your sidewalls to be too thick either, because that will make your nails look really wide. You do want to blend in where you filed around the cuticle area. You do want to blend that slope into the rest of the nail. And yeah, I'm literally just contouring, debulking and making sure there's no lumps and bumps. And you'll see I use not just the side to side motion with my e-file. I will pull it from the middle of the nail down towards the free edge in an up and down motion. That way I'm contouring the nail using the e-file in different ways, which enables the e-file to give you a nice shaped nail without you then having to file loads and loads with your hand file, if that makes sense. Definitely, if you haven't done so already, I highly recommend getting yourself some e-file training. It is so good to get e-file training, because when I was learning at home and I taught myself how to use my e-file, there were things I didn't realise until I took an e-file course, and I learned so much that I didn't, just didn't know about, because I was self-taught and I was an at-home user. But once I got qualified and then did my e-file training, it just opened up a whole world. Definitely take e-file training if you can. It's worth having for sure. And for me, with my pains, I have trouble with my joints and muscles, so my e-file is my best friend. I don't like totally hand filing anything. My hands cramp up so bad, and the shoulders and neck just can't handle that kind of motion, as well as my wrists and just everything basically. So use your e-file to your advantage. Try and contour that nail as much as possible so that you've got less to do with your hand file, which will it also saves time. It's quicker to do it with the e-file than it is to do it with the hand file, for sure. And now, because I've contoured it fairly well with the e-file, I can just go straight in with a buffer, as opposed to using a hand file with a rigid board in it. I can just go straight in with that buffing file and finish smoothing that nail, and there we go, sorted. So that's all I'm going to do now, and you'll see even with the buffing file I have a routine. This thumb needed a little bit more work, so yeah, a bit more effort, but it's still doable with the buffing file. So as you see, I go up one side of the nail, then I go around the cuticle area and then down the other side of the nail. Just keep that, and I'm going to do that on all fingers. It's still a routine with this buffing file, and then I will do the body of the nail, as you can see, blending the cuticle into the apex, and then the apex down to the free edge, and sidewall to sidewall, and that way I've got a nice rounded off shaped nail. Definitely have to do that. And as you see, if the sidewalls need a bit more attention, I will also sort that out. And I don't like the frills underneath the nail, so you'll see me run the hand file, the buffing file underneath the nail, and to get rid of any frills, just like that. And as you see, I switched to a hand file to sort out that free edge and sidewalls just a little bit more on that index finger. It needed a little bit more work, and whilst I've got my hand file out, I thought, you know what, let me just straighten up the square off the free edge whilst I've got that hand file in my hand, because obviously you want to square it off with a rigid file, not the buffing file. So as I had it in my hand, I thought, you know what, I'll just do all of the free edges one time, and then go back to my buffing file, back to my routine of up one side, around the cuticle area, down the other side, and then all along the body of the nail in a violin motion. That way it's all nice and smooth and blended in. So I'm not going to show you all of the nails, because yeah, it's the same thing over and over, but yeah, that is it. And I totally went out of shot, to be honest. Anyway, so that's once I've finished the buffing, I shall remove all of the dust, wash my hands, rub, because you wash your hands with soap. Soaps can have oils in them, so don't forget to use some rubbing alcohol and rub that over the nails before you start polishing. I'm not using a base coat because these are enhancements. There's no need to use a base coat, so I will go straight in with the application of colour. And as you can see, I'm using this beige. I love the tone of this nudie beige colour. I love it. I think it's lovely, and I really liked the way it looks with the red as well. So as you can see, I'm applying the polish to the thumb and the little finger, so it's a full beige nail on those two fingers. I'm keeping my layers nice and thin, and I'm using the brush to bounce up by that cuticle area, and if I get any on the skin, I will remove it with the cleanup brush and some rubbing alcohol or some acetone. Either one will do the job. My hands were really shaky this day, and that's the day I decided to do straight lines. Yeah, I'm a glutton for punishment, but I really wanted to do this design. So keep those layers nice and thin. I would rather do 3 layers of thin gel polish than 2 thick layers and bulk out the nail and potentially it not cure thoroughly. So yeah, keep the layers thin, and as this is such a light colour, I do use 3 layers of this colour. Now the consistency of this gel polish is thinner than what I'm used to. I'm used to quite working with a medium to thick viscosity of gel polishes. This was thinner than what I've previously used with other brands, so that was a bit different for me, but it's not difficult to work with by any means. It was just different. So yeah, that's the difference that I found with these. They are a thinner viscosity, but as you can see, I didn't have any issues working with it. It still applied nicely. Didn't particularly slide off the nails too much or anything. Yeah, so application wise, I'm quite happy with the way they applied, and I'm really happy with the coverage and the end result. I think they came out lovely, but yeah, these straight lines were a pain in the backside for me to do. Keep having to go in with that cleanup brush, and you can see how badly my hands shake, and I'm like, no, don't mess up that line, you have to redo it. But yeah, quick tip for you: if your hands shake like mine, use a small detailer brush to get around that cuticle area, because it makes it a little bit easier for you to get really close to the cuticle and get it nice and neat. It's a little bit easier, especially with this half coverage that I'm doing, so half the nail vertically. It is a little bit easier to use a cleanup brush, but even still my hands shake, and if I get it on the skin, I have to use my cleanup brush with a bit of acetone or some rubbing alcohol and get that off the skin. Always get it off the skin. Do not cure it whilst it is touching the skin. It will cause lifting issues, and you just really don't want gel polish on the skin. These things are made for nails, they're chemicals. Don't get it on your skin. So I will cure that first layer for 60 seconds in the Modelones lamp, so that I know that it's curing thoroughly. I always try and make sure that I use the lamp that goes with the products, because gel polishes cure on different wavelengths, and different brand use different wavelengths to cure their products. So if you don't have the lamp that goes with the product, do inquire with the brand as to what frequencies and wavelengths their products cure at, so that you can make sure that your lamp is at that frequency and wavelength and will cure the products thoroughly. Uncured product, it can look like it's cured and it can be hard when you tap onto it, but it might not actually be cured all the way through 100%. It might only be 90% cured, and in which case when you then go to remove the gel polish, it can cause allergies with the dust on your skin and stuff. So do try and make sure that you're making sure that the gel polishes are cured thoroughly. And wavelength is one way of doing it, of course, and the other way of doing it is to make sure your layers are thin and that you're curing it for at least 60 seconds a time, and that way you're less likely to have uncured gel polish. The epidemic of reactions to gel polish is quite rampant, and that's from overexposure, you know, people getting it on their skin too much, but it's also from uncured products. So do take care, because the last thing you want is to become allergic to nail products, because that would be really sad. You wouldn't be able to do your nails anymore, and you don't want red sore peeling fingers. And that's the most uncomfortable, itchy red peeling fingers, not fun. So do take the effort to not get it on your skin as much as possible. They are nail products, they're not skin products. It's just not good for your skin. So same thing again, as you saw, thin layer of the gel polish, and then I will use my cleanup brush and my detailer brush where necessary to get a nice neat application. I wish I had steadier hands. It would make my life so much easier. I'd be able to do these things much quicker, but you know, we're not I'm not normal, so this is what I have to do. So for those of you who have difficulties like I do, it's still possible. It's still possible, guys and girls. It's still possible. You just have to put in just a little bit more effort if you want your nails to be nice and neat. And yeah, it's doable. It's not the end of the world if you can't get it straight on the first try. Keep going. You know, keep going. Use your cleanup brush, use your detailer brush. Your tools are your best friends. Use them to your advantage. That's what they're there for. They're there to help you, so use them. So now I'm using a third layer of the gel polish. Like I said, it's a thinner viscosity, and I want to keep those layers thin because I want to make sure that they cure properly, but I also want to make sure I've got opaque coverage, fully opaque coverage. So I'm just adding a third layer. I'd rather do it this way than to put two thick layers. That concerns me, thick layers. The possibility of it not curing all the way, or wrinkling, or causing issues is, that's my deterrent. I'd rather not have that. So 3 layers thinly applied as opposed to 2 thick layers makes sense to me. I would highly recommend doing it that way. The easy way out is not always the best solution, as it were. So just use my detailer brush to tidy up that cuticle area a little bit. When my hands shake, it actually made a mess, so cleanup brush to the rescue. And once I'm happy with that, of course, I will cure it. Try and straighten up that line a little bit. And now happy, I will cure that for 60 seconds. And now I can apply the thumb. I kept forgetting that I can't put my thumb in the lamp at the same time as the other fingers. Kept forgetting. So I would cure my fingers and then I'd have to turn my hand round and then cure my thumb. On this layer I actually remembered to do the thumb separately. So I'm just applying that third layer to the thumb, and then I will cure that separately. These little lamps are really handy. I use a power pack with them, so they are fully portable, and I love using them for toes. They're perfect for toes. I mean, you don't have to have a big old lamp to cure your nails, which is handy. And like I said, it's not the end of the world to cure your thumb separately. Not a problem. So now I can use the red, and this red, oh my giddy aunt, This red is stunning. It's like a, it's not quite a Merlot. It's got a slightly more purple tint to it. It's just the most gorgeous deep berry red that I knew I would like it when I first did my haul and unboxing, and when I applied it on the swatches I knew I would love it. And then when I did this set I was like, oh, this red is gorgeous, and I really like the contrast of the red with this beige. I'm in love with this set. I'm looking at my nails right now and I'm in love with this set. Definitely happy. I'm a happy bunny. So wear wise, so far so good. It's been a few days since I actually did this set, but I will do an update video like I did with the Madame Glam and let you know how the wear test is going. I actually haven't changed my toenails. They're still the neon. I haven't matched them to my fingernails yet. I just haven't been well enough to do my toes, so probably not going to be able to do my toes unless I start feeling better. So bear in mind, my wear test may well just be over the product as opposed to on natural nails, unless I manage to do my daughter's nails. But yeah, you'll find out when I do the update video on whether I was able to use the polishes on natural nails or not. But I have spoken to a few people who commented on my haul video and unboxing video about Model Ones, and I did ask if they had any problems with the wear. Did it wear well? Did it chip or anything? And from what the comments I've read and the responses I've had, everyone has said that they actually wear really well and they haven't had any issues with chips or peeling. So, and like I said, it's been a few days since I actually did these, and so far so good. I've not had any sign of them chipping or peeling, and they're still really shiny. And I'm really naughty and I don't wear washing up gloves when I'm cleaning and using bleach and stuff like that, and they're still super shiny and they've not chipped or anything. So yeah, it looks like they're going to be Frosty approved. But I will wait until the update to give my 100% Frosty approved, because I do like to make sure that at least 2 weeks of wear has passed before I give my full opinions on it. But so far, definitely so good. And like I said in my haul video, these lipstick collections are stunning, and if they had things like this when I first started out, I would have been over the moon. You can't complain about the price point. They are very cheap compared to other professional brands, and the fact that they are aimed at the home user is wonderful. Model Ones have a lot of products for the home users, and it's wonderful. If this stuff was around when I was first starting out, I would have been over the moon. So yeah, I'm definitely jealous I didn't have things like this when I was starting out. Yeah, it's wonderful. The little lamp, the little bag. Oh, it's so cool. And you know I'm keeping those little bags with the little lamp and everything, so that when I go away on holiday, that's coming with. And I know I can, whilst I'm lazing around a pool sometime underneath a nice umbrella, I can do my nails or do my toes around the pool. Obviously not around the public pool. I don't think I'd do it around a public pool, but you know what I mean. If you get a little filler, maybe one day I can do that. Lord only knows when we'll be able to afford it, but holiday time, even if I'm doing it in the apartment or hotel room, it's still possible to do on the balcony and stuff. It's just nice to know you've got these little travel kits, and they're awesome. Even if I go and stay with mum or something, I can have these bits and do her nails, or when I go and visit my sister in Holland, do her nails with these little kits. I mean, they're just awesome. So yeah, I'm really excited about that. They're definitely wonderful little kits to have. And I've hit 2,000 subscribers. Oh my god, thank you ever so much, guys. Thank you, my Frosty fam. It's so exciting. I will be doing a giveaway. It won't be a massive giveaway because I just, can't afford it. I will be making it international. I may have to do an international bit and worldwide bit because polishes, you can't, it's funny that Royal Mail and stuff, they're weird about sending gel polishes. They have to be transported a certain type of way and stuff, so I'll have to have a think about that. So it may be that I'll do a UK one and a worldwide one, slightly different products. I'm not sure yet, but I'll work that out, and you guys will see it then. But yeah, definitely giveaway coming, guys. Oh, my Frosty Fam, you can get some goodies. I'm so excited. I can't wait. Awesome. So I just need to get myself together, and then I can sort that giveaway out for you guys. Exciting news, huh? Anywho, let's carry on with the design. So I'm going to use these gold stickers that came with the pink lipstick kit. The polishes are from the pink lipstick kit as well, or collection. I will apply those stripes, and as you saw, I don't know if you could really see it properly, but what I do is when I'm applying the stickers, I actually make sure that they are slightly shorter at the cuticle and at the free edge. That way I know I can encase it within the base coat and top coat, and I know that they're not going to peel up. If you do them right at the edge, you have more chance of them peeling up and not being encased totally. So I do suggest making them slightly shorter, just 0.5 to 1 millimeter shorter than the actual end of each side of the nail. That way you know they're not going to peel up and lift off, and it really does work. So do make sure that they are just that little bit shorter. So I used some of the rope chain type stripes ones down the center of that vertical different colors that I did, and then on this index finger I did on the middle finger the same design. So I'm using some of these triangles, squares and chevron and rectangles, and I'm just having fun with the placement. I'm doing it the same as I did on the other hand, although I've switched which nail it was on, kind of thing, but just why not make it a little bit different. But it's basically the same design that I did on the middle finger. So I'm just checking it against my other hand, make sure that they are lined up similarly. I haven't removed the tacky layer. I've stuck the stickers onto the tacky layer. I've not removed it at all. That helps the stickers slide into place so that you can really position them well. And then to seal them, I will apply the base coat first, and I'll make sure that that is totally encased. Cap that free edge. As you can see, get that base coat right at that cuticle area so that sticker is totally encased. Make sure, I can't say it enough, make sure the sticker is slightly shorter than the nail. Makes a huge bit of difference with your longevity and it not peeling up. So I've done those two, encase them with the base coat. So I'm going to cure those because I don't want the base coat slipping off, because I didn't do a super thin layer and I don't want it to slide. So I've got those encased first, and then I will do the index finger. Get those stickers encased in the base coat too. I don't know why my camera's gone all dark. Very strange. Might have to check my exposure settings on the camera. It went all dark then for some reason. Not sure why. So once those are all encased and I've cured that for 60 seconds, it is now time to top it off and keep it tough. So this is the top coat layer. This top coat is really nice, but it is a thinner viscosity, similar to the gel polishes, the colours. So yeah, working with this, I would suggest that you keep your layers quite thin, otherwise it can have a tendency to slide, so be careful with that. With thinner viscosities, they can sort of pull into your sidewalls and your cuticle area. If that happens, then you may be applying too much at a time, and you may need to just work on 2 fingers and cure that, and then do the next 2 and cure that, so that it doesn't run into your sidewalls. It can happen with thinner viscosities. With thicker ones and medium viscosity, it's less likely to slide, but with top coat you don't want to be putting your layers massively thick anyway, because you can lose the shape of your nails. So give it a generous but not overly thick. Keep it more on the thinner side with your layers for sure. Cap your free edge, and if any is slid into your sidewalls and cuticle area, get that off with some acetone or some rubbing alcohol with a clean-up brush, and tidy it up, get it off the skin. Then you can cure it in place. And once I've cured that, I can then top coat my thumb. As I said, I can't get my thumb to cure at the same time as the fingers. And then, yeah, but it is a thinner viscosity. However, even though it is a thinner viscosity, it is tack free, and it is shiny, definitely shiny. And so far, like I said, it's kept up, it stayed shiny even though it's a thinner viscosity. It's and I've not had any of the stickers peel up. You can't even really feel the stickers between the base coat and the top coat. It's totally leveled out the nails. You can't feel the stickers being raised at all. So top marks for that. I'm really happy with that. I'm happy with the shine. I'm happy the way they feel. They're nice and shiny, and yeah, so it's a really nice top coat. But like I said, keep your layers on the thinner side when you're using the Modelones polishes. So that is it. We're going to use some cuticle oil and some hand cream to replenish that dry skin. And as we are pretty much at the end of the video, there's some footage and photos at the end as usual. But whilst we are here, I'd like to take the opportunity to say thank you again, Modelones. I'm very grateful that you've reached out to me. I've enjoyed using the products. I will film an update video when it is time, of course, to let you know how the wear test has gone. But yeah, so far so good. I've really enjoyed using the products. They are lovely to work with. I'm happy with them. I would happily buy these products to use, and I'd happily use these products on myself and my family. As you can see, perfectly fine for me. I'm more than happy with them. So far they are Frosty approved, but they will not get the 100% approval until I've completed my wear test. So as we are at the end of the video, I'd like to say thank you ever so much for coming to my channel, spending some of your most precious time with me watching this video. Thank you, I appreciate you. If you have not done so already, please go ahead and click that subscribe button. Join the Frosty Fam, I'd love to have you. If you enjoyed this video in any way, shape or form, or it's helped you in any way, please go ahead and click that like button. Let me know. It really helps, a bit of feedback. And if you're up to it, you are more than welcome to leave me a comment. I'm very happy to talk to you. So that is all I have for this time, peeps. You take care now, and I'll speak to you all again very, very soon. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.